Good morning from Frankfurt from these beautiful September days. The rain is coming and Europe will win this war. I made the case already in some of my other videos. I want to start with condolences to the British people and the royal family. It's very tragic news, obviously, and rest in peace Queen Elizabeth, and long live the new king, of course, Charles III. Yeah? I'm hopeful that there will be a reason back in the UK now with a better centre-right-wing leadership, and I'm confident as well there will be a return of the United Kingdom by the end of this decade into the European Union. And it will be a different European Union, one which has a free trade agreement with America, one which is ready to take in the Balkans and also Ukraine and Georgia, Moldova. It will be a EU of 37 member countries and also the United Kingdom. Please make sure you adopt the euro. That might be a long time. Yes, we have this decade to prepare that. I'm confident there will be also tax cuts now in the United Kingdom. That's a very good thing the United Kingdom can and will do. I'm confident, I hope that will be anyhow decisive. If Liz Truss is going for 15% corporation tax, that will be the step towards her victory, and that is possible in 2024, or she will anyhow lose in 2024. So that will be then a different and a faster reintegration under a Labour government. That's to be decided. But here in Frankfurt today, I want to call for an absolute cap on gas prices in the European Union. And that's very important today, to have a clear cap. And that's basically a ban then, because Putin will then end gas exports, and the Austrians should be all put into high treason chambers because Gewessler, she should resign, and also Brunner, they are all unfortunately very much pro-Russian, because they say we need the gas, we need the gas, we need the gas. Yeah? So no cap, because they are afraid that Putin will cut, and they want to pay any price because of the bad delivery, high treasonable contracts which Sebastian Kurz has concluded in 2015, 17, 18, the worst of them in 18, for the 50 years anniversary of the treasonable deal of 68. I'm talking about the moment when Gazprom pipes have reached Austrian territory, and 50 years, that was then the celebration of Russian-Austrian complicity and crime in the year 2018 with the visit of Putin and all these scandalous kind of treaties attached. Yeah. I'm here at the main square of Frankfurt. It's very beautiful. This old town is now very well renovated, and contrary to what many people think, that Frankfurt is a bad and not nice city to visit, it's a wonderful city. It's really very dynamic. There are great jobs here. There is a great business opportunity, great networking, and really it's the very dynamic city. I was now the conference IME, very impressive people, a lot of very interesting contacts for further investments in the Balkans. That was my topic, but there was basically from Ethiopia to Zimbabwe, you know, to any place in Africa. It was really very good event, very much to learn about, and Frankfurt is the hub of our financial center in Europe and of the euro. I called for the euro to be enlarged, did not happen. I called not to raise the interest rate. Unfortunately, that happened, so I'm not happy with the central bank. They make mistakes. They enlarge too slowly and they increase too fast. That's both Putin's agenda. So Lagarde, I'm very deeply disappointed, because we don't have an overheated economy or something like this. We have a problem in our trading system because we are too protectionist. For a decade, we have not concluded the contracts Mercosur and TTIP, and not with the Gulf Cooperation Council, and many of the actually very important trade agreements we have not concluded. We have not concluded as well the very important opening of the labor market with Balkans and Ukraine. So we have a double protectionist trap. That's most important in the goods market and in the labor market. And then we all knew there is a demographic change and we need more people in Europe. And that's, you know, we are not doing it. We are protectionist, xenophobe, and that's a real problem. And the other thing is, of course, we need to win this war, and we need to de-ideologize the energy debate. Yeah? Because first of all, of course, it's an energy crisis which we have, and that's a war-induced, a Russian-induced. That's Putin's war against us, and we have to win this energy war by producing more energy. Yeah? Wind, solar, nuclear, coal, anything that goes, and all, of course, logically, according to the law in the European Union. We have very high environmental standards for coal energy, and we have very high environmental standards as well for the security of nuclear power. There was no European nuclear incident, to my best knowledge, under European regulatory terms. And to my best knowledge, there was none. What the Ukrainians and the Soviets did in Chernobyl is something very different, and that we allow Russian nuclear plants to be built in Hungary is an absolute scandal. But then we close German, European nuclear plants in Germany today. That's also a total scandal. So we do the nuclear policy totally wrong. We as well have then the coal policy totally wrong, because we need, of course, to burn our own European coal. We can gasify it, we can burn it on European standards, obviously, but not to use it is totally crazy. And then to subsidize the non-use of coal with 40 billion, like the Germans, and even more, is totally crazy. Clean the coal, do it on EU standards, do it on modern standards, make sure there is no CO2 exhausted, capture the CO2, do some technology, but certainly not this crazy policy which we have currently. And also in solar now we have already the situation that we have about 12% of EU energy, or electricity at least, from solar, and that's very good. So we need a massive solar boom in the EU, in the Western Balkans, in Ukraine, everywhere. There must be so many solars. Actually, the EU should simply buy all the solar panels of the world and ship it to Europe. And we can also produce some of them ourselves. And also wind, yes, of course, each forest must have his wind. The whole of northern Germany is built by wind energy historically. And now we are so complicated on wind, it's completely ununderstandable for me. It's crazy, but it's absolutely necessary to do the wind. And then obviously to stop importing Russian gas, kneecap Putin by capping the gas, and also make it very clear that we don't use electricity anymore for gas for electricity. That's a very bad deal. We can do the electricity with many other things. We can also do battery storage, and we can have a lot of other hydropower storage. The gas is a very big temptation to do it fast, flexible for the balancing of the grid, but do something else. Never burn gas for electricity anymore. It's a crime. And we can do that much better. And the gas we need for heating of the houses, we need long-term also to transition this. And actually we are talking 20 years about it, and we have not done it. And actually all these people who say the climate is important but have not done anything, and they are the ones in power the last 20 years. Hypocrisy absolute at the maximum. Get it done, and stop just talking, and start doing things. If any serious center-right-wing government with a market approach, which I believe in, would do these things, no ideology in the energy debate, can just effect European energy independence from Russia, that's the priority, and getting rid of gas from Russia completely, getting rid of nuclear and coal from Russia all out, Then we clean up also the political system and all the corruptive system. And then also making sure that we produce our own energy with our domestic energy, and then we of course open out the world to the Americas and to our partners in the world from the Gulf and in Asia, who are really also able to deliver. And the European policy that we don't have a free trade agreement with Indonesia, with ASEAN, with Africa, with the Gulf, and with Latin America, and with America itself, is an absolute French disgrace, and I blame the French for that one. They have misled us into this anti-Americanism, pro-Russianism, and into these traps, and that's a very big problem, and we have to tackle that now. Yes, also Germany needs a new government. Scholz is a Russian, pro-Russian, that we see in every aspect. Lindner is with him. So we need a new FDP boss and we need a new chairman of the Free Liberal Party in Germany who is ready to change the coalition, because this pro-Russian coalition was really a heaven sent for Putin, and Mr. Scholz personally has distanced himself from Ukraine, and he is very much to blame for this war in Ukraine today in 2022, and shame on him, and he shouldn't be chancellor. He should be removed from power by the Free Democrats, and they should change. With the Liberals and the Greens together, with the CDU, which now anyhow has by far the majority, we will have a much more pro-Western government, a pro-American government, a pro-NATO government. Then we can invite Ukraine to NATO and the war will stop again. And of course, not all Ukraine will be liberated, but most of it, and the rest will be politically united by the integration of Ukraine in NATO, EU and the Euro, and that's the logic and that's the beauty of it all. Yes, and we will win. Putin will be defeated, his country will be dismembered by de-recognition. We don't need a Russia like that on the east of the EU and NATO. It's a dangerous, brutal, genocidal regime of centuries, and it's time to de-recognize it. And I personally think 28 new countries is much better instead of the Russian Federation. These new countries will be quite logically, they will anyhow disintegrate after Putin, and then obviously we should be fast in recognizing these new states. There will be so many new states. I think 28 is the best number. There is a real Russia somehow hidden inside the Russian Federation, and the rest are new countries, and they should be recognized. And that's the logic of the fall of the Austrian Empire, of the Ottoman Empire, of the Yugoslavian Empire, of the Soviet Empire, and now of the Russian Empire. And this will be the future, and I call everybody to prepare, and not because Putin is now losing in Ukraine, and then to give him this kind of, oh, he's so important for world stability, and to repeat the mistakes the Americans have made in 1917 and in 1933 and in 1941. Okay, that's a different one. But always this pro-Soviet, pro-Russian policy, it's a big tragic mistake. Again, after the Second World War, they trusted the Russians again, and ultimately as well in 91, and all this Gorby shouting, and there's nothing good coming out of this really very toxic Russian system. And the people might be nice, yeah, they will be really, I have also many Russian friends, they will live much better, obviously, in independent new countries, same as the people live much better in the new countries after the Austrian fall, or the fall of the Ottoman Empire. The fall of ex-Syria should be also fall, and all these countries like Yugoslavia and Soviet Union disaster. These were no countries with legitimacy, and they are only kept together by brutality of the center, and they have no legitimacy in the modern world to govern their people because of their utter brutality to others and to their own citizens. And so they must be dismembered, and this will be the future. And yes, it will be complicated, but that's the way ahead, and it all starts with energy, because we have to be the massive energy generation supercontinent. Yes, we need to harness all the energy sources and make energy very cheap again to bring down the Russian behemoth, because this is how we won the first Cold War, by bringing down the energy prices with the oil glut. And now with the renewables, with nuclear, with coal, we have to massively produce energy in unprecedented amounts, and that will bring down the Russian fiscal system, and it will disintegrate under their own mistakes of 2022, and of course the full-scale energy generation revolution to come. Good. That's my plan here from Frankfurt. Smaller plans I don't have. I will keep you posted. And please, wherever you are, produce the maximum energy you can for a free and a united Europe, and for the defeat of Russia and Slava Ukraine. It will be a very powerful and successful country inside the European Union and NATO and the Euro. And please, Ukraine, if you can do something, cut all the Russian energy transits immediately, adopt the Euro, and the future will be inside the NATO and the EU. And don't accept anything like neutrality and no Rammstein format security guarantees. The future is clear in NATO, EU and the Euro, and that's the only way ahead. Thanks a lot, and more to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.